here for another episode of Victory Royale Gaming Podcast. Top paid versus top free games. Pros and cons of paid games and of free games. Yours truly, Mr. Victor 101. Video game industry, pros and cons. The pros, esports, fantasy, BR, having fun, being social. The cons of the video game industry, and there's more cons than pros. And let's just get that out there early. Addictive qualities, toxicity, expensive add ons, overtime, not much ROI, jaded communities, offline imposters, antisocial story mode co op, solo multiplayer MMOs, arthritis or unhealthy habits. Paid games, pros and cons. Pros, since the 80s, 90s, games has always cost money. New games, pre-ordering games, whether it's $19.99, $29.99, $39.99. I've even seen it up $69.99. Now there's different editions. There's the deluxe edition, legendary edition, etc. Cross-platform edition, and just the status and the stats of how many people pre-ordered the game, how many people bought the game, and how much money has been made before the game is actually released, right? The cons is spending money without playing the game, playing it, and not be worth it. So is it worth it? And just being discouraged of spending your money, not being satisfied, buyer's remorse, buying the deluxe edition, legendary edition, and it doesn't pan out. The moral of a gamer is, you're buying games, maybe multiple games, throughout the year. You're investing your time, you're investing your money, and it's just the experience of morale, whether you have high morale, low morale. Another con is demographic limitations, socioeconomic type of thing, where, if you can't afford to buy every new game that comes out, can't afford to pre-order every pre-game that comes out, you're going to be limiting there's going to be some fluctuations of the number of players, total number of players, right? Of a paid game, of the pre-order, of, how many people buy the game, early adopters versus after release, seasonal, things like that. So, paid games is what we're used to. Now, the freemium business model is something that we've seen recently with battle royales. And so the pros of is free for all, free for everybody. The number of players is probably, it can increase, fluctuate because it's free, right? So everybody can download it, play it, check it out. There's going to be in-game purchases, right? It's more of a modern business model where, we're going to create a game. It's going to be free, but it's going to have a bunch of in-game purchases, right? The cons, of course, is financial support of releasing a game, pre-ordering it, and there's just it's not generating money before release, and maybe it's not generating a lot of money after release. It might not be a while where a bunch of people are spending money on the game, and whether that influences popularity, it's a free game for everybody. Over time, it could be more popular, but what if it doesn't necessarily become more popular? And it's just that free complacency of the developers where they can say it's free, so the developers could move on to a paid project. They got to do something else, create another game or something. A lot of marketing. So pros and cons of the freemium model. What's next? Okay, well, compare top paid games are gonna be games with credible reputation already. Free games, top free games. These battle royales are Fortnite, Warzone. They're making a lot of money and they're popular games. And just whether or not you want to pay for that could be a turnoff. Or, if it's free, then check it out, right? So, now specifically, let's look at MMORPGs. Do you want to see a free MMORPG? How about a paid MMORPG? So, free MMORPG is going to have a battle pass, so it's going to be more of an indie game, local, PvP, PvE, VP. Paid is going to have a little bit of a larger game data. If there's a pre-order, it could be a bigger game with especially if it's generating money before release. It's going to have a lot of dedicated servers before release. People want to say there's going to be better dev relationships because they're getting money and fixing bugs and problems of a paid game could be more relevant than a free game. And then, of course, PvP. So, free or paid esports. Free esports, usually the E for Everyone games, EA games, global competition of free. Paid esports are gonna be, pro players, more adults, more kids. I forgot that on there. Aim for mature audiences, local. Kind of self-explanatory. Free or pay BR Battle Royale. Free is going to, because you have in-game purchases. I mean, nobody's really going to make a free game where it's just free because they got to make some money somehow, right? Pay that cross-platform performance. It's going to have the performance. It's going to be innovative because they're able to make money before the release. So at the time of the release, there's going to be so much anticipation and the servers, they should have had time to prepare, make a beta, etc. So, there's pros and cons there. Overall takeaways is 1v1 PvE VP. That's what we want to see in an MMORPG. Esports paid pro players, right? There's money going in. Hopefully there's money coming out. A lot of the free or paid strategy. local versus global competition. Also, we want to see a cross-platform MMO RPG. And gotta remember that no game is perfect. With that being said, that's it. Until next time, stay tuned.